Diet talk and the diet mentality are all around us, but there are some places where they really seem to thrive, and one of those is health fairs. That's what we're going to talk about today. So as a dietitian, I go to a lot of health fairs. Sometimes I am representing my own business, sometimes I'm representing other organizations that I work with, but either way, I'm usually there talking to people about food. And it comes up again and again that I see diet talk and the diet mentality really living in those places. And I think it's something that's interesting and something we should be aware of. So that's why I wanted to discuss it with you. A health fair is a place where we go to get information about health, right? I mean, when I go to health fairs, I just love doing them because there's such a great opportunity for me to talk to a lot of people, have a lot of great conversations, hear about different people's concerns, and also share with them information and resources that they might find helpful. So it's a really good time. But there is this thing that seems to happen where the diet talk is more present there than almost any other place I go. And I think that's really because a lot of the things that aren't healthy are encouraged in our culture. So things like restricting our food or exercising excessively or using exercise to compensate for what we eat, plus a bunch of other misinformation surrounding health. All of that stuff really does seem to pop up in health fairs. And I got to thinking about this because I went to a health fair here recently and there was someone at a booth next to me. She was perfectly nice. I mean, we didn't talk that much, but she's friendly. But her booth was a lot about fear-mongering about food and specifically sugar. So her whole board and everything was about how sugar is kind of lurking everywhere and how it's so bad for us and how it's addictive. And that is not true. Sugar is not addictive, and that's a whole other video topic that we could go into if you'd like to. Let me know in the comments if that's something you'd be interested in. But her whole thing was around sugar, and this is something that's very common, is for people to kind of jump on one food or one food group and make that, kind of like the nutritional bad guy. And we see it happen all the time with all kinds of different foods. I have a video on that, so if you want more info on how that happens and why I think it happens, I'll have that linked for you so you can go and check that out. But she even said to one person who was coming through her booth and talking to her or whatever, she said, sugar, cocaine, it's really all the same thing. And I was like cringing inside, like about to jump out of my skin, because not only is that completely inaccurate, which I hope is obvious to most people, but maybe not, it's completely inaccurate. But on top of that, all it does is prey on people's fears, and it just sets up this really unhealthy scenario where either people feel afraid of food, or they may, go down the path of being obsessed with food or engaging in disordered eating or an eating disorder or anything like that. And I don't think this person thinks or knows that she's could potentially be causing harm to other people. She probably thinks she's promoting a health message, but that really is the problem, is that so many of these things that can be damaging and harmful and are really an unhealthy mindset or unhealthy behaviors to be promoting, those things are encouraged a lot of times as the healthy thing to do. And so that's just in the culture in general, but then when you get in these places where people are talking about health, you see these things come up because, again, even though they're not health promoting and they can actually harm health, whether it's physical health or mental health, but they are thought of as the healthy thing to do. So it really creates this tension for me especially, where you're in this place where people are looking for health information, but then you have this other thing that's happening at the same time, and it's kind of this contrast between, people who are looking for information about their health. Maybe if it's an employee health fair, there's also, representative from their health insurance company or, different resources in the community. So people are looking for that information, but then you also have this other stuff that's coming in that really isn't health promoting, but a lot of people think it is. And so I think that's especially important to be aware of if you are someone who has dealt with disordered eating or an eating disorder in the past or are currently dealing with that, that someplace like a health fair, which is supposed to be about health and all that sort of thing, a lot of this unhealthy stuff unfortunately gets wrapped up into it. And we can see this at other places too, where maybe health is a focus of a lot of people there, whether it's talking to a doctor or going to a gym or any of these other kind of places where health is the focus, that a lot of these unhealthy things can be woven in there, and the person who you're talking with who maybe is promoting these things might not even realize that those things are unhealthy or see that this whole thing is happening. So I think it's just something important to be aware of. It's something that I really notice, and it also stands out to me because I know for me, sometimes I think I'm kind of in this bubble of people who are more aware of these things, and so then when I kind of get out of that, whether it's, you know, my physical bubble just with people I interact with, or online, the people that I follow and interact with there, once I get out of that, I really see how much more of this diet talk and diet mentality stuff is going on, even more sometimes than I realize. So I think that's important too, is sometimes we can get, you know, kind of in our zone with people who think like us, and that can be great sometimes, but also remembering that the whole world isn't necessarily like that. And so I think it's something just to be aware of, and also for us to think about how we can maybe help with that, to spread this message and educate other people about things that they might not even realize could actually be damaging to someone's health. So that's kind of my thought on that today. I just wanted to put it out there and talk to you about it, and I'd love to hear what you think about this sort of thing. If you've heard, you know, kind of diet mentality or just other unhealthy things promoted in a setting that's supposed to be focused on health, I'd love to hear your stories and experiences with that. And if you happen to be new here and you want more healthy eating tips and nutrition info and videos like this one, then make sure that you subscribe, because eating healthy and living a healthy lifestyle really doesn't have to be complicated, and I want to show you how to do it. And if you want to watch some more videos, I have a couple linked over here that you might like. Thanks for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.